Doing this morning?
Great.
Fantastic.
Thanks everyone for joining us. It's a beautiful sunny day here in London, Ontario, and I know most of you are in the GTA. So wherever you're dialing in from today, we do have a special event. We're really excited to have two guest speakers. Usually we just have one, but now they're coming in tandem, these two, and we're really excited for them to share with us this morning. Red, we know back from the days of ECC and working really hard. And if you guys don't know Red's background, she was an actress in the Philippines before, and she is the first MD in the eHorses. So eHorses is their team name. Okay, Teresa Tang Wong team name, and they have I think over now 1,000 licensed agents across Canada. But the first eHorse in Canada East to hit 100K as an MD, and then she just promoted two MDs and became senior marketing director. So we're so excited to hear from you, Red. Congratulations with all your accolades and being promoted just recently. And so fresh off the press, you're going to hear all of what she has to share and how she was able to build that momentum to hit the greatest contract level in our company. And then her mentor, Jeff. Jeff, we go back to what, 2002? Carolyn, you guys chat often, and we started off in the office together. You went to your own office, you went to another company, you come back, and you hit 100K, and you just been rocking and rolling. Your team has over 40 licensed agents. Probably by the end of the year, you'll probably crack 100. The way you're going right now. So we're just so excited to hear from you as well. But I believe we're going to hear from Red first. So if you guys can give them a both big round of applause, we'll get the training started. Up to you guys.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Wow.
Morning.
So good to see you, especially Mina. It's been years. See you guys again. So I'm excited to share my journey. But before I share my screen, anybody who's a mom like me on the call? Thumbs up. Yes, moms? Awesome. Okay. So I'm going to share with you quickly my journey and how I found WFG. And can you see, guys, my screen? Yes? Yep. So I heard this from the CEO. The ring is the thing, right? So when I started this journey, I came from an entertainment background. These are my family, my grandma, my grandfather, my uncle, who's like a Tom Cruise in the Philippines. And this is my mother. She's a soap opera star. Never in my wildest dreams, I thought I'd end up in the financial industry. This is my last industry that I want to be in, because I thought financial industry is all about accounting, bookkeeping, mundane job 9 to 5, sitting at a desk, doing balance sheets and all. And I get eczema when I was in high school, when it's math time and pop quiz. And my name is long, Maria Paula Morelli Aguilar Crisostomo. And then teacher said, number 1, wait. And then it's math. So I never knew I'm going to be in this industry. But what I found out in financial services, that we help people. That's what I fell in love with. My story with my celebrity family. Do you know that even though they're famous and they earned a lot of money, they died broke? I had to fly to the Philippines to help my mom bury my uncle and borrow money from the town mayor because nothing is left. The mentality in show business is all about appearance. You give it away. You don't save. You don't invest. You don't even think of the future. You live by the moment. So that's when I realized it's not about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, right? Now, in the Philippines, the trend is like this. There's a famous actor in the Philippines. He's very old now, but now he's on social media everywhere asking for help because he's very sick. So I didn't want to be in that kind of life, right? However, on my father's side of family, they're entrepreneurs, they own businesses, right? And they dominated the transportation industry in the Philippines. And before my grandma died, she said 2 things to my husband and I. She said to my husband, PJ, if you cheat on my daughter, I will rise from the grave and pull your feet. So I'm still married with him, and I'm pretty sure I got scared. And the second thing my grandma said to me, you will never be successful if you work for somebody else. She could have said something else, but she chose to say something about success. And that resonated to me. So I went to Canada year 2000. I was an actress also before, and I said, okay, let me try myself in acting here. I did a commercial for Sleep Country. I also did commercial for the government. Do you know how much they paid me for this commercial? $200. That's it. No royalties. And how many auditions I had to go through to get that role? For Sleep Country, I went to 40 auditions. For that government, it's 60. I counted it. But you know how much money I spent taking the bus and then getting rejected? If you think our job is hard, when people say, let me think about it, I don't think this is for me, ouch, it hurts, right? But you know, in show business, right away in front of your face, they tell you, your nose is too big. Nope, next. Oh, you're too dark. You don't fit in the role. Right? It's really, really tough. So this is my why. I want to show you my why. I have 3 kids. They're not this small now. Julian here, the chubby one, he's 15. This is my daughter, and this is my son. I have 15, 10, and 11. And now I have a dog. I want to show you my why because this is the reason why I pushed through this business, even if in the beginning I don't like it and I hate it. I'll tell you later why I hated it, but I still pushed through with it. Now, I worked at a corporate office. This is my JOB, Journey of the Broke, where I served 7-year sentence. I only get half-hour break of recreation. Okay, all I did was gossip all the time because I hated my job. And guess what? I was on a mat leave. And for those moms out there, we get only 55% of your income, right? But your bills remain the same. Isn't that insane? Moms should get paid more, honestly, right? After going through all of that, right? The mental stress, the physical stress. So I left IMAX Corporation because I felt that I'm not making a difference in my life. And I was still broke. Before I found WFG, I was 30 grand broke. Now, I started a business, Odesk. Odesk is a platform you plug in to be an executive assistant or whatever it is, online job that you can do. I couldn't get a job because the competition is way tough. People from Philippines and India, they would offer $1 per hour to do the job. Here I am, 17 bucks per hour. I'm like, forget this. I was looking for something where I can work from home. Now, I started selling pearls. Low profit, pure selling, and my market is only women. Men don't buy pearls. So I'm like, there's still no time freedom. What I did, I started a business online, selling cakes, self-taught via YouTube because my daughter has severe allergies. So I said, you know what? Let me do cake business. But guess what? Look at my mess. This is 4 in the morning to make this cake. This cake is a 3-tier chocolate cake for a wedding. That's about 400 bucks. Guess how much I was paid because this is a family member? 150. About 4 in the morning, look at my kids sleeping on the couch, waiting for mom. And I'm like, I'm with IMAX all over again. No time freedom. And I'm choosing my work over my kids. So I'm like, I gotta find something where, number one, it will allow me to work from home, or it would allow me to get time freedom. And I want to be successful. I just want to be rich, to be honest with you. Okay, coming into this, I didn't come in here to help people. I just came here to be rich and to make $1,000 a month. Okay, so these cars, if you don't know, are not my cars. These are Jeffrey's cars. Why am I showing this to you? Because this is where my eyes started opening up of a possibility. There's a successful person in front of me. So this is his first car, the Subaru, right? I wasn't impressed. You know, Anne is my best friend from the Philippines, way, way back since grade school. And we would see each other during Christmas, right? And when he was changing cars every Christmas, I'm like, I wonder what he does. How come, he's changing cars? These cars are so expensive. So I was intrigued, very intrigued what's going on, but not enough to recruit me. Then I saw their Facebook. So I kept, watching their Facebook feed. They were in Texas, they were in Hawaii, they went on a cruise. And I'm like, I like their lifestyle. That's the kind of life I want. At this point, I was intrigued and disturbed. But what did it for me is the 100K. When I saw it on Facebook, I'm like, they're onto something. I need to do what they're doing. I remember looking at the ring and telling myself, will I forever be like this? A cheerleader for other people's life? When can I be in that shoes? So I called up Jeff. I talked to Jeff. I said, listen, I don't know what you're doing, but I thank God it's not illegal. Would you imagine? Because I said to him, I don't know what you're doing. I need to do what you're doing. I want your life. Exactly that. I don't know what it is. So from Markham, for you guys, that live in the West End or lived in the West End before, Markham is north, right? And then Mississauga is west. Within 25 minutes, it takes about usually 40 minutes to get to Mississauga. 25 minutes, Jeffrey is at my door after speaking to him. And he was signing me up. I'm like, whoa, that is fast. And then I signed up and then he left. So my husband said, because my husband's a technical person, now I realize when you talk to a technical person, they do a lot of research first. And I'm an A personality. I just go, get it done. So when he said talk to Jeffrey, he didn't mean sign up. He just meant go ask more questions, find it out. So when I signed up, my husband said, oh, so did you talk to Jeffrey? I said, yeah, I signed up. He's like, what do you mean you signed up? You signed up for what? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to be rich. Just want what he has. He's like, why did you sign up? And then I said, okay, fine. I'm just going to quit. So A people are like that, action-oriented people. They sign up fast, they quit fast, right? And then when my husband said, you know what? You're already there. You signed up because in our team, we have a reimbursement program. So he said, might as well get the license, get the reimbursement. If you want to leave, you just leave. So that was my mindset going in, is to get the reimbursement. That's it. But I did not know what industry, what is it. So what are my challenges as a new recruit? Okay, I wanted to share this with you because I'm pretty sure those new people, you have challenges. But I didn't have a car. I don't drive. I took the bus from Mississauga to Richmond Hill, an hour and a half. When you guys, also when you guys see me at BFS and, any event, I would take the bus too, or I would hitch a ride. Or when I got licensed, I had, a 2014 Hyundai that when you drive, it makes a noise, go, so I don't know if you notice, every BFS school, I leave late because I wait for you guys to leave so you don't hear my car backing up. Or in the morning, if you see me there early in the morning in the front, not because I want to save seats, but because I need to be there before you guys hear my car. Okay? So my challenges also is I learned to drive on the highway because, I didn't have a team, so I had to learn. I had no market. My husband said to me, my husband was skeptical. He said, don't touch my family. I said, okay, fine. I'm not going to touch your family, right? Even my dad was not supporting me. So I prospected as I go. I'm the type of person where there's no opportunity, I'll make a way for me. I refuse to be a victim of my situation. Okay? So every BPM, my husband would make me cry, honestly, because it's a Saturday and I'm a Filipina and Filipinas should stay at home. That's the mentality with the kids. And it's a Saturday, you should be home. So every time I go to meetings, I would cry. Then my first paycheck was 142. Amazing. Jeff was like, I'm so excited for you, 142. I'm like, yeah, 142. And he's like, you got to frame that. Show it to your husband. It's not a scam. I'm like, okay, 142. What Kool-Aid is he drinking, right? I did not have any financial background as well. I'm just in acting, but I just wanted to get my reimbursement. And I was very skeptical, to be honest with you, because I thought this is one of those MLM things, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have gone through that. And I wanted to prove Jeffrey wrong. So I said to myself, okay, once I quit, no turning back. I want to make sure that I've exhausted all my efforts. I'm going to give it my best shot. So if I quit, I'm not going to feel bad. So whatever Jeffrey's instruction, I will follow to a T. He said to me, book 10 appointments. I booked 10 appointments just to prove Jeffrey wrong. So because I hate math, right? At that time, we did closed book. I did in one shot. And my challenges is I take care of the whole family. I have a kid with special needs, but there's a will, there's a way. And I scheduled my studying time and my licensing time. I told my husband, okay, we want to get the reimbursement. Please, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're not going to see me. I don't want to prolong this. I want to get paid right away, right? So we scheduled our field training and, you know, my studying. And when I passed, I want to tell you my grade, because I've had recruits where a lot of them, 67%, you know, that's my grade. They would aim for 90. This is what I tell my team. When you hire a plumber, do you ask the plumber what's his score in the licensing? You don't. You just want them to fix your pipes, right? So those are getting licensed, just get licensed, right? It doesn't matter the score. First Vegas is my first Vegas, right? 30 grand and broke. Jeffrey said, go. But I'm like, I'm broke. He's like, no, still go. First Vegas. Turning point, 2018, my husband attended Vegas finally. That's when his eyes were opened. First ECC as well. I was obsessed in bringing people. When I realized that this system worked, the joke is on me, right? Then I started bringing people, inviting people. 2019 year was the year, a very challenging year because, you know, a lot of people called me a scam and my family as well. My father is a different financial advisor until now. My husband got injured, shattered his whole leg, 2019. 6 months he couldn't walk and I had to hold the fourth plus WFG business. I could have quit. My daughter had a fracture as well. At that time I didn't have Oxyjet, so now I have it. And my son was brought to the ER. He choked on a piece of chicken. A lot of things that had happened that I could have just quit, and I got robbed. Great. Happy New Year, January 1st, I got robbed, right? Then I lost my team. At this point, I would have just quit, but I didn't because my focus at that time was having a better life for my kids. I'm doing this for my why. So I kept on going. What was my mindset? I never miss a meeting or event. People tell me, oh, you attend BPM, it's over. They're talking about all of this. You know what? It's like riding a bike. This business, the more you learn, the more you understand the beauty of the business. I was focused. Stop doing the blame game. I operate based on commitment, not on how I felt. And I was wearing this all the time, and my team is wearing this all the time. We're focused on what we need to achieve and what we need to do, okay? Don't call me, I don't sell this. Call Jeffrey. He's the one who put this on me in the beginning. And I stopped looking at other businesses that doesn't work. I just look at the success of Teresa, Jeffrey, and I'm like, this is it. I'll put in all my efforts into this. I own the opportunity as an MD. I started opening a satellite office. A lot of people have not done that, but I'm like, if I'm going to be a CEO, I need to practice how to run an office, right? And then the bigger my office came, the bigger the team became. So I have a big vision. But lastly, I want to talk to you about recruiting, okay? I hate recruiting in the beginning. So if you hate recruiting, don't worry, you're not alone. I'm like this. Every time Jeffrey says recruiting and field training, I'm like, oh, please don't say that. Don't say recruiting. Because for me, my mindset was forcing people. But you know, in my team, their mindset in recruiting is finding the next Justin Bieber. Do you hear what I said? Their mindset is finding the next Justin Bieber. What does that mean? You know, in basketball, they had to go through a lot of prospects before they find their Michael Jordan. Same thing here. You have to find your Justin Bieber, your Michael Jordan, but you have to go through a lot of people. And I realized that everybody recruits. Google recruits, ISIS recruits, everyone recruits. There's no company in the entire world that does not succeed without recruiting. Okay? But we're only looking for people who are looking for us. And we want to change lives, and we want to change their life. Now, during COVID, that's when my business exploded. One person that I followed up on in March, it's a Miway bus driver. He's now my MD. Guess what? Because we pivoted fast, during the COVID, 54 recruits from one person. And that person brought me to 100K. That was my Justin Bieber. I need more 7 Justin Biebers. Okay? And is this really worth it? My time? Yes. Time freedom for my kids. How many people can say I work 9 to 5 and I can still be there for my kids 100%? This is why I'm doing this. Part-time, I'm working only part-time in the basement. If I could take out my background, you're gonna see what my office looks like. But that's the most precious thing to me, my children. This is why I'm building the business. This is why I'm recruiting. I wanna change lives, and I wanna change my children's legacy. And what else? Me and Melissa, my other MD, we go on a field training anytime we want. I own my time, I own my business. I don't have to ask permission from a boss that I need to go home because my son has a fever. Can you allow me to go home, or can I take a break? No way. I'm sick and tired of people telling me what to do. I'm sick and tired of using coupons. I'm sick and tired of ordering in a restaurant, reading from right to left. For a change, I want to read from left to right on a restaurant menu. My goal was as simple as that in the beginning. But how come 2019, my income is only 27,000? So look at this. How can I sell a dream if I, earn only this much? I was 50-50 in the business, okay? So when my husband got sick, pure override in May. This is why you need to build a team to prepare you for things like this. If something happens, you don't worry about money. My mother-in-law came. Yay. My son had a fracture. I had a car break-in. Looks promising, right? Now, what else happened? The turning point was an eHorse convention. My team wasn't moving, so I said, you know what? It's me and you, babe. Me and my husband. Let's start from scratch. I started rebuilding. That's when I found Gary. I told Jeff that month, January, Jeff, I want to run for 100K. He was so skeptical. I've never seen him skeptical, but he's like, yeah, okay, 100K, right? But for me, my daughter, this is what my daughter always says. Nothing is impossible. It's just a lot of work. So I was willing to put in the effort. I was sick and tired from being sick and tired, okay? Gary was a couple of months follow-up. I would have, quit, but no, I started moving. Then the explosion happened in May. Then Jeff started tracking. I walked through my 50K, but October, I got hospitalized, emergency appendectomy. I was in the hospital for a week because the infection was all over my body. I didn't know if I'm going to survive. At that time, I had a 3 chargeback. And it was a point where I was questioning, should I move forward? Because I was in the hospital. But even if I was in the hospital, I was still at the BPM because it's not about me. This is about the team that joined me and saw the vision. I owe them success. I went back again to the hospital because the infection came back and it was strong. And that's when I realized as well, are my stuff in order? Is my will in order? And I also had an 8,000 charge back. Imagine that, 8,000. So when you go through stuff in this business, keep going. Don't quit, don't stop, because it's just challenging you if you really want the success that you want for your family. So how come, before I end, within a span of 1 year, I hit 50K and 100K despite of all the challenges? It's because of WFG, because of the system. if you let go and let the system run, let your leader lead you, stop the noise, stop the doubt. That's what I did. And I just said, Jeffrey, just lead me, let's go. I want your life, right? So choose your hard. My annual pay in IMAX is 32,000 for 7 years versus 100,000 in 5 years. I would rather hustle for 5 years than until 65 working for somebody and no chance to get 100,000. This is a life sentence of hard labor. I put up with, what could be a life sentence for the exact same reason I am winning in WFG. So always remember that you are in a Ferrari of opportunities. So remember, employees get paid by dollars per hour. WFG entrepreneurs gets paid by effort per hour. WFG broke me out of what could be a life sentence of hard labor. I'm sick and tired of working for somebody else. It's time to put my family in focus and my dreams. I'd rather hustle 24/7 than slave 9 to 5. So remember the picture in the beginning? Jeffrey's lifestyle, because of WFG and my focus and my decision to submit to the system and to run the business and take ownership and to do it for my children, not for anybody else. Within a year, I hit the ring. I hit a free trip to Hawaii. We've never been to Hawaii, but my daughter was saying, Mom, bring me to Hawaii. I said, yes, darling, I'm gonna bring you to Hawaii. I hit the watch and I bought our second home in Oakville, which I thought I would have done as a mom staying at home as a Filipina, 30 grand in debt. So thank you for having me. I do hope I've inspired any one of you to focus on this business and run hard. You have a great, great leadership. Please do yourself a favor and do this for your family. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Can you guys come off mute and give Red a big hand? Inspiring. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Red, for that presentation.
Thank you.
Beautiful pictures, beautiful family, beautiful story. We thank you for that. Awesome. Jeff, are you going to introduce Jeff Red or?
Nope, you did that already, Dan.
Okay.
Wonderful job. I'm just gonna hop right in just because we're lack of time as well.
Okay.
And
awesome.
You know what, you guys in this room, you guys have great leaders. Dan, Carolyn, they've been proven, living proof that this business works. Okay, so you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure it out. You don't need to be a mathematician or fancy degrees. Those are just gravy, if you will, but you don't need it because there's enough examples of people who are winning in this business without any of those. There's the majority of the people winning in this business do not have any of those criteria. So don't always feel that you have to know everything first, or you're so afraid to make mistakes because of what other people say or anything like that, other people's opinions, right? So just focus hard, just like what Red did, and listen to your coaches, right? So that's why, when Dan's winning, when I see Carolyn winning, it inspires me too, because I don't want to be left behind, right? I see them winning and we're around the same batch when we all started. So that's cool because when other people are winning, it puts you in a peer pressure environment. And you want to take advantage of that because you can't get that anywhere else. All right. So I'm going to share my screen over here. Okay. Similar, I just want to, Red and I want to focus on the same theme, right? Why is it so important to build, to recruit? Selling is great, but it only gets you so far. Okay. So I want to kind of hopefully provide a different angle of how this can help benefit you. And this is exactly how I train my team as well. So it's not like I'm being selective with the material I'm choosing. I want to share with you guys exactly how I share with my team. Okay. So this is about recruiting and selling the dream. This is 1 month before the lockdown last year. This is I think it's in February, right? So or March. So we flew back to Toronto. This is from Mexico. So we flew back to Toronto the same day when they started announcing that, oh shoot, there's going to be a lockdown, all that crap, right? So we're like, oh, we're so lucky. We had our one last family trip with the whole family there. And I want to share with you how I began from 3 to 30. So what does that mean? It means at one point, I only had week after week after week, BPM after BPM. I only had 3 people, 3 teammates show up and attended the meetings with me. Sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes I felt like, oh, I'm so small, man. But there comes a point where you got to be frustrated, right? You got to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. So I had to shake things up, right? So I got sick and tired. Okay. And only then, that's when I realized that's when you have that motivation to move. Because if you're not at that stage yet, really, you're just going to be in a vicious cycle, right? You may not like it, but it doesn't mean that you're sick and tired of it yet. So I want you to get yourself in that mind frame so you can then make a decision to make a big difference, right? And one of the speakers, Saeed, you guys all heard before, he came one time, and I don't remember anything else he said. I just remember him saying one thing. He said, in his office, he has lots of SMDs. I asked him a question. I said, with all these SMDs, how can they grow? Because everybody feels like they're all part of one big thing, and then they don't have their own identity or whatever it is. And he told me something that I would never forget. He says, even though I have a lot of SMDs, they each run their own BPM on a different day, right? And then I realized, wow, I never thought of that, right? I'm the type that likes to think outside the box and try to shake things up if nothing's working. So I was at that time, my meetings were merged with other SMDs, and that was why I probably just had 3 people coming in, because there was no urgency or anything like that. Then I realized, oh man, maybe I should do my own BPM. Imagine that, running your own show with just 3 people showing up. Some of you would be thinking, wow, that's scary, because what are you gonna do during Mozone? Just 3 people showing up, it's awkward, right? But that's exactly the fuel I needed, because guess what happened when I declared running my own BPM night with just 3 people? The week before, I started making tons of calls. I'm calling all my teammates. I go, hey man, you better show up. Can I sign you to this training? Can I sign you to this training? I started doing things I'd never done before, because I was the limelight was on me, right? So the very reason why you're afraid to do something, that's the very reason why you want to do something, because you don't want it to happen, right? So from what turned out to be just 3 people showing up, the first standalone meeting I did, we had like 12. Okay, so that's a big deal to me. That was like, wow, double digits, right? And it never went less than that since. Okay, so I ignored the noise, because I had leaders that told me, don't do it. It's stay within the group. So it's a bigger Mozone, bigger environment. I understand where they're coming from, but I also understand that I gotta move. I gotta move on, because if something is not working, why the heck am I still doing the same thing over and over, right? I started becoming obsessed with the head count, right? So I don't know if you guys do the same, but in big events, I like to stand in the back and I'm counting heads, right? Even during BFS school, Daniel, when we were together before at the 5,000 Young, you know what I've been doing? The very first thing, I'm at the back, I'm counting heads. How many of them are from my team, right? That's what I've been doing every single time. And when you become such to that, it makes you want to bring more and more people, right? You never want to show up to a meeting still by yourself, right? Week after week after week, right? So if you start following this, then now your obsession is not about getting licensed just necessarily, or just focus on product. Your obsession is about growth, okay? Growth. Double digit everything. That's my mantra. Double digit everything. Double digit recruiting, double digit sales, double digit attendance. If Vegas, double digit that, and magic will happen. Okay, that's it by default. You can't build a fortune all by yourself. Okay, the number one reason why people don't recruit, and I'm just gonna say it even though you don't want to admit to it, is because really we worry too much about what other people may think. Right? You're scared of rejection. You're scared that they're gonna shame you. They're gonna tell all their friends and family not to talk to you. All that stuff. Right? That's really the number one reason. Okay, so as you can see over here, right? Even if they have an opinion, but how many of those are paying your bills, right? So who cares, right? You think all the big leaders that are making millions right now, do you think they care about what people say about WFG or about the platform opportunity? They don't care. They still find a way to win, right? Every big corporation recruits, right? So that's what Red said earlier. Get over it. Right? The minute you understand that every corporation recruits, who cares? You're no different, okay? Unless you want to be by yourself and a salesperson, no problem. I'm not saying that everybody has to be big, but I just want you to not be create an illusion that you're wondering, how come I'm not growing, right? And meanwhile, you're just focusing on the wrong areas. So what are you really selling? Okay, so you got to ask yourself each time when you sit down with a prospect, right? Because you always get what you ask for first, right? Do you ask for the financial needs analysis first? Do you open the conversation about talking about products, right? Or do you open up the conversation about opportunity, earning extra income, all of those things? The minute I start shifting from selling to building, it's a game changer. I start attracting more and more people that are also looking for opportunity as well. Okay, I'd rather have 1,000 teammates who are licensed than 1,000 recruits. So what happens if I only focus on selling, or if you focus on selling, you will have a decent lifestyle. I'm not saying you can't make money, right? You still make a pretty good income, right? Some people make $250,000 a year just by selling, not a big deal, right? But if you focus on selling, you have to repeat your efforts every day, right? You're unemployed until you make a sale. That's what I call it, okay? You have limited income because there's only so much you can do based on your own personal effort, okay? And you've only really helped yourself when it comes to creating a career or a business, right? You help other people, don't get me wrong, with their financial products and services, but you haven't really changed their lives with a huge impact, right? Now, if you only focus on selling, you will not have, okay, so this is just my personal resume over here. I will not have had 40 plus licensed associates, right? I would not have 90% of my income being passive, right? Yes, there, a lot of people make 100,000, but not everybody can say that 90% of that or more is passive income, right? I would not have had time freedom, right? I average maybe 15 hours a week. When I do my BPMs, I tell them I average about 20 hours a week, but really, I really don't. But I have to say it because anything less they're not going to believe me anyway, right? So I have to inflate the number of hours just so to their employee mindset, it will sound realistic, right? Unlimited potential, income potential, a chance to help other people, right? If I only focus on selling, I can't help Red build her team. She wouldn't be getting her ring and all that stuff, so it takes a lot of effort to help each other win, right? I wouldn't be where I am if I wasn't able to help Red as well, and vice versa. So, and you wouldn't have fun. There's no fun because when you're just working by yourself, it's really lonely, right? You're, day in, day out, you always have to look for the next prospect, the next client, all of those things, and no one to share knowledge with and share the experience with to learn from each other, okay? So who will you rather follow? Okay, I have team A. There's a team A and a team B, okay? And team A, okay, you've got this person earning $250,000, then they start earning $500,000, then they start earning $1 million. Wow, that's pretty cool, right? Like, it's a proven example that the business works. Or would you rather choose team B? Okay, so you got one person, okay, making 100,000. You've got one person, and then that one person, same person, then start making 200,000, and then the same person started making $500,000, right? The progression, right? I'm talking about the progression. So on paper, I rather follow person A, right? Because obviously they know what they're doing and they're very successful at it, right? But then here's where you want to look into the behind the scenes, okay? Because not only am I just looking at how much they're making, I want to know how much they're helping other people make money as well, right? Because if this person is making 100,000, but they're able to help 3 other people make 50,000, right? It's still 250, but it's dispersed this way, right? Or if this person's making 200,000 a year, but they help 3 others make 100,000, or this person making $500,000, but they help 5 others making 100,000, right? So when I look at the behind the scenes, right? I don't just look at what that person makes alone. I want to see if that person is worth duplicating. That's what I'm looking for, okay? So what others will see is that, yes, right? You can win, okay? But if I look at team B, I see that, yes, we can win too. We have a chance of winning as well because you must be doing something right. So that way other people can experience the same success as you, right? So when you're licensed alone, guess what people are gonna see when you try to present the opportunity, right? Is that, oh, it's too hard, it's too complicated, you're too fancy, right? Your product knowledge level is so high, man. Is it? Can I really learn what you're learning, right? And then that inadvertently is gonna backfire, right? Over here. So how do I sell the dream to my team? Okay. So this is something that I do constantly and I love it. I love encouragement, praising, recognition. And that's because I never got any of those growing up. Okay. So those who know what, my family drama, hush, hush. But that in a way, it's a blessing to me because I know exactly what not to do. And that because of that, people are happy, right? They're awesome. So my team's awesome. So I'm always promoting comma checks. So you guys probably have your own group chats, all that stuff. For me, every time there's a pay cycle coming through, I quickly look at my list who got a comma check. And when they do, I post that on the group chat. So guess what everyone else is seeing? People who are licensed, who are not licensed, all they're gonna see is comma check, right? From whoever, regardless of where it came from. Last year, 90% of the comma checks popping through was from Red. So people are like, holy crap, like they can see from beginning to the end how it unfolded, right? It's kind of like a before and after dieting program, dieting commercials, right? Nobody wants to see just the after effect. They want to see how they got to where they were. So then they can then realize that they can do it as well, right? I promote every milestone through group chats, BPM announcements, people who completed the certs. I post it. I get everybody to send me a profile pic of themselves because I create a poster for each individual person. And that's part of recognition. People love seeing it, right? I promote, here's another thing that I do. I'm not sure if you guys do it as well, but I promote other leaders through social media. For example, Ed Milet, right? He's a constant page on my announcements, BPM announcements, edmilet.com, hashtag max out. You know why? It's amazing now to do that because your teammates will not, you cannot be there for your teammates 24/7. So you don't know what they're going to listen to, all that stuff. But if you start telling them to follow this person, watch their podcast, guess what? They're getting free training and I don't have to do much, right? And they're getting free training from the elite of the elites. It stretches their mind, stretches their vision. They're more likely to stay and make an impactful business. Than versus me trying to do everything, trying to encourage them, try to motivate them every single time, right? Because there's only so much I can do. Why not let the successful elite people do that for you, right? So take advantage of that. And I begin, all you have to do is begin with one rabbit, right? So let's say you're now thinking that, okay, what do I got to do to do something different to shake things up? Start with one person, start with one rabbit, right? So that is Red. In my team, she's the rabbit. I made sure that she'll have a very good example. So that way other people can see it and they know that it's not just me yapping away. I've proven myself that I'm worth duplicating, right? So that's what you got to look for. Identify who the rabbit is, someone who's willing to listen to you, coachable. Even, I'm not expecting them to always agree, right? Red and I may not agree on stuff, but at the end of the day, she still trusts my vision, my leadership, and that's what I'm looking for, right? And because of that, she's able to succeed. And because of this, the rest of my team who were not that coachable before, now they're being coachable for some reason. They're more nice to me. They're less standoffish. Their ego has dropped. It's like dramatic, right? It's like a night switch. From one day to another, they're like, okay, Jeff, do you think this is good if I do it this way? They'll run things by me before they wouldn't. They would just do their own thing and keep hitting the wall. So you got to do it for the sake of the rest of your group, right? For the greater good. Provide the right environment, right? So these are just some quotes that I love keeping. It's pretty cool. It's lonely at the top. That's why a Bugatti has 2 seats and a bus has 50, right? So you got to make sure that, yes, sometimes you can experience that it feels like you're doing it by yourself. No one's really helping you in the beginning, but that's really what it takes to mold you to have that mental toughness. So you need to hang out with the people who fit your future, not your history. The wrong circle will distract you. The right circle will motivate you, right? So you got to pay attention to who you're hanging around with all the time. Pay attention to who you're with and when you feel your best, okay? Unfortunately, this also applies to family members, relatives, relatives that are negative, I stay away from, right? Yeah, we see each other at parties, but it's more of like, hi, bye, how are you? And all that, right? But I'm not going to hang around with them, right? So you got to identify, okay? So not just because they're family doesn't mean you got to hang around with them all the time, because it's always a tug of war. It's either you're going to be gravitating towards their way of thinking or they're going to gravitate towards yours, right? So in terms of the right environment, all of last year, our team always thought out of the box, and they were able to they were able to invite speakers just to come into our Zoom. Like, we're just an SMD. We're not even CEOs or EMD. It's not Teresa's whole team. It's just our SMD team with just like 20, 30 people, but they're willing to come. And people say, how did you do that? I said, they asked, right? Like, majority of this is thanks to Red. She had the guts to do so and just message people and say, hey, can you come speak? So we have Tita Lazang coming in. These are all like millionaires, right? $500,000 earner. We got Michael Coleman coming in. Imagine that, saying yes to a small SMD team that has nothing to do with them, right? This is crazy, right? But they just asked. So that's all about, never know until you ask, right? Eric Jamalita hopping in, talking to our team of 30 people, right? Just an SMD team, right? And I didn't have SMDs yet at the time. Red wasn't even promoted yet, right? We have Cash Rastan for the first time. Even Teresa didn't even get a chance to invite him. We got the chance to invite him first, and that's crazy, right? So the universe will listen to you when you have that right intention to want to do something different, right? Lisa Biona, right? She came and talked to us as well. Monty Home, all this stuff, okay? So this part is cool. This is just a few days ago. I got my biggest pay cycle, and that's almost 12 grand. And that is because of the team, okay? No way in heck I will get one massive pay cycle like this if I were to be selling all by myself. I did the math before. You know how much of a premium you have to sell to earn this? I worked backwards. It's about almost $1,000 a month. So if you have a client that can put away $1,000 a month on a premium, that's your commission. I don't know anybody who has $1,000 a month, right? My average clients are like 100 here, 200 there, right? I'd be very blessed if I had someone that does $1,000 a month, right? But that's the route I'm not gonna go take and explore, because who knows how long that's gonna be. I'd rather invest in my team and build it. So because I know in the long run, the dividends is so much greater, right? So if I can do it, you can do it as well. So if I do a job in 30 minutes, it's because I spent 10 years, blocking my view, learning how to do that in 30 minutes. You owe me for the years, not the minutes. So that means in the beginning, it will feel like you're doing a lot of work, not much results. But in the end, I promise you, you're going to be severely overpaid. And to the average person, they're going to think, man, it's like winning a lottery ticket every week, every month, right? You're lucky. It's not luck. It's because they didn't see all the years I put in, pumping my team up and building and training and all that hard work, the rejections, the tears, the blood, the sweat, all that stuff, right? So yes, now it looks easy, but it wasn't like that before. You have to build it up, okay? So that's the outcome here. So awesome trips. I love spending time with my family. We're on a boat cruise here, Disney boat cruise. France, all that, Mexico trip, Vegas, all over the place. So I love to travel. I love food. So, and here's the thing, you got to protect your lifestyle, protect your dreams. Okay. Don't let anyone mess with it. So here's some rules I would abide by. Never take advice from someone you wouldn't want to switch places with, right? So is that uncle of yours still nagging on you? Are you still doing that thing and they're still broke and they're telling you and they're broke, right? Take advice, and here's another one, take advice from a full-timer mindset. Okay, not necessarily full-time hours person, but take advice from a full-timer mindset person in WFG, not a part-timer, okay? Unfortunately, this also applies to family members, okay? So, you may have a cousin or a relative that's also in WFG, but they're just part-time, right? They don't really care, but then they're advising you what to do. Forget it. Take advice from someone who has a full-time mindset, okay? If there are no issues, you're not big enough, okay? So you can't avoid a perfect, straight road. So the more drama you can take, the more obstacles and challenges, the bigger you become. Every time Red says there's an emergency, all that, in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I know that that means something big is about to happen each time. imagine what she went through, and she was still able to hit SMD and in the ring, right? So this, if this year if it's anything, if she still experienced challenges and all that stuff, life just gets in the way, I know she's gonna hit a quarter mil, right? So embrace it. So be so positive that negative people don't want to be around you. Okay, so unfortunately, things will trim off along the way, but don't feel bad. I mean, you have a chance to bring them with you, or they want to be left behind. That's their choice, not yours. Okay. And as a wrap up, just want to say thank you, everybody, from the bottom of our hearts. My 4 kids. That's my why. My wife, 16 years in this year being married, and family for me is everything. And I hope that if you take this platform seriously, then you can really enjoy the time freedom, the financial freedom as Red is about to experience right now, and myself as well. All right. So thank you very much, guys. And we'll leave it back to Daniel. Pass it back to you. Thank you.
All right. Can we give Jeff a big hand? Thanks, guys. Wow, that was so powerful. Very inspiring. A lot of great nuggets and information there. And I hope you guys took a lot from that and can apply it to your own business right away. We do have a few minutes to ask some questions, and these guys will stay on for a couple minutes more to answer those questions. So if you guys want to come off mute or type it in the chat, you guys can ask them now while we have them for the last couple of minutes. Maybe I can start off with one to both of you. Would you guys have changed anything, as far as focuses over the years, if you could go back and do it all over again?
I'll let Red answer that one first.
I wish I did it faster. And I wish I found WFG when I was young.
Well, you still look like 16 years old. So, it's great.
I wish I did it. I wish somebody spoke with me when I was young. I didn't waste time looking for other businesses working for anybody else. And I wish I did it faster and dropped all my skepticisms and negativity.
Awesome. What about you, Jeff?
So for me, I would say that it's more of the belief in myself, the confidence, knowing that I can do this. So if I had that confidence boost starting in the business, it had a quicker result. And also not caring too much about what other people think. That was always been my weakness before. Now I don't give a crap, right? Mm-hmm. But really it's the self-confidence first, because there was never a doubt that this business didn't work. Okay? I knew enough examples. We've seen it enough. People are winning. The question is, why not us? Why not me? Or why not you? Right? So where are you at this stage where your belief level, right? If your belief level is at a 50-50, then you can't expect somebody you're going to talk to who will be 100% on board. Because how can they be on board if you're only 50-50, right? So a lot of self-evaluation, a lot of self-reflection needs to be done on your part. And what helped me through that is through continuous learning through other people's experiences, big events, learning from other people's successes, and just knowing that, okay, enough of the excuses, right? It's a lot of self-talk, right? Enough of the excuses. Somebody's out there who's made it, has it worse than you. Okay, we've seen that a lot. So what's holding you back, right? So the minute you kind of cross that line, turning point, then that's when you will see better results and better results.
Awesome. Great. Any other questions, guys?
I have a question for Red. Hi, Red. Can you share the story of how you came to meet your superstar?
I have 2 superstars. Actually, when I got promoted, I have 3 MDs. I had a choice to hit my SMD. We're already the 2, but because I know with the exchange leg, right, I want to keep the momentum. So that's why I had 3. So with Melissa, her father-in-law is my client first. And then I asked the father-in-law, can I share my business to your son? And they have a flooring store in Mississauga. When I called the son related to Melissa, and Melissa was like, nah, she just want to sell something about, insurance or whatever. And then that really broke my heart. I even kept the text, the hurtful text. And it turns out because I kept the friendship, they're looking at their finances. And she became my biggest client because she was paying about $300 only for her for a UL to pay to 100. So I fixed her, insurance, and then I showed her the opportunity. And then she's like a rabbit so fast. For Gary, Gary is 4th-generation referral. So the person that joined referred somebody, and invited Gary to a BPM. He did not show up, but I kept the number because when I saw him came dressed, I'm like, I want him in my team. And he's very flashy. I know he's an A. So I kept the number, followed up, and kept on following up. But he kept on saying, you know what? I'm just finishing my licenses for board of directors at a condo. Call me next month. And I remember calling Jeff many times. Listen, I think he's stringing me along. I'm pissed. I'm not going to follow. He's like, no, do not give up. You don't know if he's your, superstar.
Wow.
Months after I went to, I remember that I drove to Caledon. I'm from Mississauga, Caledon. So far, lots of woods. There's no lights, and it was so dark. And they're not picking up. I already made the appointment. It's 8 in the evening, and I was about to turn around. I was calling Jeff, my husband. They're like, "No, go, still go. You don't know if that's your superstar." And I told them, "Listen, you're gonna be in trouble if I get kidnapped here." I'm so because I said yes, right? And then when I went there, I forgot the name of the person I'm looking for. I said, "Hi, I'm looking for Melissa." They're like, "There's no Melissa here." But good thing, right? I kept on following up. So yeah, after 6 months of follow-up, finally he said, "Okay, I'm ready." And then he came to the first BPM and Zoom wearing a sleeveless, lying on the ground, hugging his teddy bear. And I said, "Jeffrey, that's my superstar." He's like, "No, that's not my superstar. Where'd you get this guy?" So because of the system, he became a superstar. So that's how I found those two. It's just follow up. Keep on following up. Those that showed interest in your business before, go back to them. They saw something. It's just not now, right? Don't lose that number. Even the people that came into 2014, I still have the comment card that said they're interested. Until now, I'm still calling them. So fortune is in the follow-up.
Amazing.
Right. Maybe we have time for one more.
I have one for Red, if that's okay. Hey, Red, it seems like I love hearing your story, like in such detail today. It seems like, how you said you kept the text of the person saying, no, or the burns or whatever it is. Can you just like go through that mindset? Because so many people, they just take it, right? Or they just ignore it. But it's kind of like another level because I feel that way too. When people tell me I can't do things, right? I'd love for you to just expand on that mindset, because that's such a mindset of a champion. Like what you do in those scenarios, like when you do get those no's, when you do get those burns, that kind of.
Good question. I'm a stubborn woman. When people, like you, when people say, "No, you cannot do it," I'm like, I'm going to prove you wrong, right? So, that text is very simple, but I haven't even told you of the letter that was sent to me by my husband's best friend, where he dissected the illustration, brought it to another agent, and sent me a nasty email saying I'm a scam. And 3 days ago, somebody on Zoom bombarded me and saying I'm a scam or whatever, right? So as soon you have to understand, it's harder for me because I'm from the entertainment industry. I was bred to feel emotions, to be vulnerable. So if you feel hurt when somebody says no to you, for me, it's 10 times more painful because it goes straight to my heart, right? But why do I keep those rejections, no's? Because I turn it as a fuel for me to move forward. And it makes me even more excited to succeed, because nothing is more beautiful when you're succeeding and the naysayers feel like, okay, I was wrong. What are you doing? Right? Like Jeffrey before, I'm like, no, that's not for me. But when I saw him succeed and focus on my stuff, You know, that's when people are started to look at me now. Even my dad, as of this moment, to be honest with you, okay? So it's normal in this business. You have to go through this. A lot of people will really doubt you, not because they don't like you, not because, you know, they hate you. It's because it's a reflection of themselves, right? They are afraid for themselves to succeed, and when you succeed, it's like an insult for them. So even my dad have not congratulated me, not even like Jeffrey's post, but I'm not upset with him. I'm more excited to succeed, so in the future I can take him with me. So I'm sadistic. I keep all the no's and negativity, right? And then I read it. When I go through stuff, I read it and I'm like, no, I'm going to prove you wrong. So I turn that into a fuel, and then I look at my children. So when you go through, you know, hurdles, go to the person that means so much to you. So when I was about to quit 2019 looking for a job, it was my daughter that changed everything. She said, Mom, you're looking for a job? But how about those people that believed in you and signed up? Are you just going to leave them behind? You said you're going to bring me to Hawaii. You said you're going to get the ring. That's it. That did it for me. So that's my advice for you. I mean, you don't have to keep the text or whatever like me, but turn it into a fuel and inspiration to prove them wrong. Don't
Awesome.
don't let them dictate on your future. This is your future. Take control.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much, Red. Thank you, Jeff and Ann. Could we give them a big hand? Folks, come off of mute and give them a big hand.